I am so excited to catch up with my girl, Lindsay Ell on Pure Country. How are you?
Hey, Shannon, I'm so good. I'm so happy to see you.
No, I've been just like living vicariously through your social media and your travels and life lately. And I was like, normally I get to hug Lindsay Ell like once every like 4 months. And I feel like
I
I haven't
know.
had a you hug in a really long time.
We're way overdue. Yeah, I just got back from Europe. I was out there with Shania touring around all over the UK and Ireland, which was a wild. And then we just played Calgary Stampede, and now I'm in Vegas playing a show tonight. So I'm still a little bit jet lagged. I really don't know what time I'm in right now, but I'm having the time of my life.
So awesome. I cannot wait to dive more into that. But one of the last times that I got to hug you that I remember so very vividly was last year at the CCMA Awards. I remember standing in the pit when you won Single of the Year and faced the like shock and just the reaction and just how excited you were running across the stage. It was so amazing to get to witness that. So I couldn't be more honored to get to announce this year's 2024 CCMA Single of the Year nominees with last year's winner.
Well, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this moment. Last year was so wild. I remember the feeling going through my brain as they were announcing all the nominees, and then the feeling going through my entire body when they said my name, and I was like, "What? What?" Yeah, I'm just so grateful to the CCMA, and I'm so excited to announce these nominees.
Okay, I'm going to let you start with the first nominee in the category.
Okay, first nominee, drum roll, is Chasing Tornadoes, Mackenzie Porter.
Woohoo! Next up is one of my
Oh.
faves, Meet Your Mama, the James Barker Band.
Then next up, Out of Yours, Stephen Lee Olson.
And Rodeo Queen from Jade Eagleson.
And last but definitely not least, Trouble by Josh Ross.
Yay! So those are your nominees for the 2024 CCMA Single of the Year. And of course, you guys can tune in and watch on September 14th, or you could be there in Edmonton. And this year is going to be really fun. We've got Mackenzie Porter, who is in that list of nominees, co-hosting with Thomas Rhett, a position that you have been in before, Lindsay. So
Yeah.
what would be your piece of advice as being a, past host of the CCMA Awards that maybe you wish someone had have told you going into your first time hosting?
Ooh, great advice. I will say just take a deep breath and read slowly. Oftentimes there's so many things left, right, and center. And okay, we're 20 seconds to broadcast, we're 15 seconds to broadcast. And there's just a lot of adrenaline. And it's just like take a deep breath and read slowly, and everything will fall into place as it should.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, I think this is their first time ever hosting something. That might not be correct on Thomas Rhett's part, but I feel like Mackenzie and I spoke recently, and this was her first time getting to do something like this. And she was just so excited. And it really is like a big family reunion. So, how pumped are you for this year's CCMA Awards, considering you are receiving probably one of the coolest honors, the Gary Slaight Humanitarian Award? Like, I am so excited because I just looked back and saw that it was almost 4 years to the day that we talked about the Make You movement
Crazy.
launching.
Are you serious? It's been 4 years?
Yes, it was July 7th, 2020 that you and I talked about it and kind of announced the launch of it.
That's crazy. I am so honored. I mean, awards are amazing and incredible. And yes, they're definitely family reunions, as all my artist friends are in one center and you can actually say hi to everybody compared to we're normally like zigzagging around the world touring. But this award just feels so different. When I got involved in the music industry, it was one of my main goals, even very, very early on, to be able to use my platform for good. However, whatever that meant, and really however big I was able to grow my platform, I'm like, even if I can help 2 people or 200 people or maybe one day 2 million people, like however many people I could help, I really just wanted to give back. And so I've been starting to do that in various ways. And yes, the Make You movement, which we talked about, is for sure a part of that, but I had no idea that I would be given an honor like this so early in my career. So I feel like this is something that artists get, I don't know, 20 years down the road or something. And so I'm truly speechless and very honored. And if anything, it just really inspires me to do more.
I love that. And it's been so amazing, like watching you obviously share your music, but I know that that has been such a focus for you, and seeing the different organizations that you're partnering with and working with, and how many people you've already impacted in so many ways. And like, it's got to be so special for you, because that obviously, like, the Make You movement is something that's really personal to you, and that's kind of why you started it. But just connecting with people, that it's not about music, it's about something that we've all gone through, and then having your music be a part of that story where you can connect with those people even more.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that the best way we can connect as human beings on the planet is to be vulnerable with each other. And so very early on, I just wanted to be really vulnerable with my fans and with my audience, and from that has led to being really inspired to help kids and women and disenfranchised youth around the world. And through the Making movement and through being able to play various shows and charities all over the world, we've been able to do some pretty cool things.
That's awesome. You've been doing some really cool things in your life lately, Miss Lindsay Ell. Like, I have been like waiting to like DM you, and then I found out we were talking today, and I was like, okay, I can't wait to find out what has life been like touring around the world with Shania Twain. Like, I just feel like I need to say that again. Like, you are touring around the world with Shania Twain.
Yeah, it's been truly wild. I mean, sometimes I still need to pinch myself on stage and be like, is this really happening right now? You know, Shania was the reason I started singing when I was a little girl. And we toured with her last year on the Queen of Me tour, which was so much fun and incredible. And then early this year, she called me and said, would you like to come out and play guitar for me this year? And I was like, what? I never really thought being in someone's band would ever be something that I do. I just, because I've always just had my own band. And then I'm like, how cool, what an interesting chapter in my story to be able to do this with one of my musical heroes and work alongside her and learn from her. And it has been nothing short of all of those cool expectations of what this experience would be like. And you know, we just got back from 3 weeks in Europe and got to play Glastonbury and got to headline Hyde Park and play some of the most legendary stages in the world. And it's still just so wild. I mean, I remember No One Needs to Know was probably the first song I fell in love with Shania. It was one of her first singles. You know, she's sitting on that white porch playing an acoustic guitar. It was in the movie Twister, which now they've made the remake and she has a song in that too. Um, and now I get to play that song on stage with her when she's 3 feet away from me. And sometimes my brain has to take a second glance at it and being like, is this really happening? Like, I remember sitting on my bed in my bedroom singing that song, being like, I want to do this one day. And now fast forward, I don't know, 27 years later, and I am sharing the stage with her and singing that song with her, like beside her. And it's just kind of crazy, full circle wild.
So crazy. And also high kicking with her on stage, which I have to commend you. I was like, damn girl, you got a good high kick, which I feel like I already knew, but to see you guys doing it together, I was like, this is pretty
I
badass.
mean, I will chalk that up on the long list of things that I have learned from Shania herself. She loves her high kicks, also loves like the coordinated, synchronized high kicks with different people in the band in different moments depending on where we are in the show. And so it just adds so much excitement. It's something that we all look forward to. And yeah, I've definitely worked on my high kick game.
I was impressed. I have to say, I need to know, because you're in Vegas right now. Did your bags make it? Because I feel like that has been also part of your journey.
My bags made it, thankfully. You know, as much as we travel, it's just like law of numbers
Yeah.
that something is going to happen. And of course, because I'm me, I document everything on my Instagram. And when I did get to the UK. Actually, when we landed in Ireland, I lost my bags for 4 days, which was a wild way to start a tour, I will say. But it was great. The band really came together. The other girls in the band like helped me, lend me their curling irons and extra lashes, and I bought some socks and deodorant, and we just carried on with life.
One day you are gonna, I'm so glad you document everything, because I feel like one day you are gonna look back and be like, holy crap, that really happened. Like this was an experience.
It is pretty wild. The road is definitely not glamorous, as I'm sure everybody's used to hearing now, but it is those moments where you kind of look back and you're like, wow, it is definitely an experience out here.
It's an experience. It's so cool though. So of course we got to announce the single of the year nominees earlier in the show for the 2024 CCMA Awards presented by TD. You will be there on September 14th, right?
I am coming, we're definitely gonna be having fun at the gala, so I will be in Edmonton.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, I haven't seen you in so long. We have to catch up. What is for fans that are maybe sitting at home, have never been to the CCMA Awards, maybe are like on the fence about going? What do you think is so special about the CCMA Awards for a fan that maybe like they would need to know before they decide like that they're actually going to come? Because I feel like some people, if you've never been, you just don't know what you're missing out on.
Yeah, I'll say it's very rare that many artists get together in one place. And there are shows all over the city, through the whole course of CCMA weekend. There's so many different fan experiences you can go to, some ticketed, some completely free. And there's just so many artists that you can see, so many things you can engage in a period of a few days, which oftentimes if you're traveling to a show, you just go see that one show and then go home. But you can truly see everybody in our country music family in the span of 3 days, which is, I don't really know a place where you can do that.
Oh, it's so cool. And like Thomas Rhett is coming in to co-host it with Mackenzie Porter. So yes, everybody watching, get your tickets and meet us in Edmonton, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, congrats to Mackenzie Porter, James Barker Band, Stephen Lee Olson, Jade Eagleson, and Josh Ross, nominees for this year's Single of the Year. Lindsay Ell, thank you so much for joining me on Pure Country.
Thanks so much, Jen. It's so good to see you.
You too.